point. Alrighty. Oh, good point. Let's make sure. Last minute check. Let's make sure I got the screen share working. Yep. Now you got me? Steve, can you see the slide on your side as well? All right. Looks like we're all good.
I can.
All right. Let's get started then. So thank you guys for having me here at Terra Community College. My name is Matt Montemurro, Sales Manager for Moodlerooms. Just a quick introduction on myself. I've been with Moodlerooms for about 2 years now, specifying in all sectors really. So working within the K-12 sector, higher ed sector, as well as the corporate sector. Really working with institutions who are looking to make migration from previous LMSs, and then also looking to truly customize their business. Not just getting something out of the box, but looking much more detail. For today's presentation, really we're going to do a quick 5-slide PowerPoint. I'm not going to labor on PowerPoint enough before you guys know that. The majority of the presentation is going to be demoing the actual product, showing you some of the newest features we have available, and just going over some of the common things. We'll also work with Steve Eichenberg, my configuration consultant. Today you guys are going to have an IP address as well as I will be able to get your P system. I'm sorry.
You get up here.
Nope.
It's really muddy.
Is that better? Test.
Turn that.
Test. I can hold it. Test. That's better? Okay. So let's go from the first slide here. So the first slide here just does a quick overview of who we are. We're also founded in 2005 by a group of Baltimore students. We're working in open source Moodle. They're truly the central people in their school system helping out everybody else. They a little bit configuration. Soon after they became associated with a partner, and that's part of Moodle partner network. They were able to broaden our entire company and make ourselves more global and really connected and open to schools across the country. We have a variety of strategic partnerships. We have over 1 million users worldwide. Within out in the 83 to 90 employees. Truly, our system can be customized and built to work anywhere from K through workforce. So very small K-12 sectors, all the way up through large companies like Cisco and Dell, two of our large companies. Also, on the side, you can see our vision, our mission, that we really stay tied to. Being that solution can work with you as a company partner, as well as just the element that you use. Next slide here just very simply says why Moodlerooms. All these different types of organizations. Very simply stated, we provide you with a software as a service model in 3 tiers. First tier is hosting through Dell Cloud Hosting Service, which provides stability, security, and guaranteed uptime. Secondarily, we provide managed open source code. Based on Moodle Core, with a series of management systems, a series of open tools, and a series of third-party partners that we work into Moodle. We also work with Moodle as they come with software upgrades, security patches. We work with them directly to make sure those are all directly. Lastly, we provide 24/7 unlimited access. 24/7 365. We work with support information. You can contact by phone, by email, or through our support portal calls. Any support portal requests will be answered within 24 hours. Information is solved with the lost password, all the way up to the school site. You can contact us with different levels of support. If those things were to happen, it's not something they've happened in the past, but we've had real life scenarios where just 2 weeks ago, the school contacted us and believed half of their courses were their midterm season. Within 24 hours, they were able to find their latest snapshot of the backup for their courses in that 12-hour period, and they were back half a day and losing the entire semester. You can also run your own backups on the system. We're doing okay, Phil?
It's really muddy.
Is it really?
I can hear these guys better than I can hear you.
Really? Is there a better mic that we have, or we can try? Is there a better mic that we have, or? So we're just testing because we seem to have mic issues. Testing. If I talk louder? If I talk louder?
Still be awesome.
Two, but we have the audio cord plugged in, so it shouldn't be picking it up. We have the audio cord plugged in, so it shouldn't be picking it up. Let's see. Is this better from right here?
Yeah.
Is this better from right here?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good.
It might be picking up. Not.
Is it still good?
Yes.
It's still good? Right. So it's probably that.
Yep.
All right, we'll roll from there. So very simply, just going back, if the audio was a little bit muddled. Excuse me. We quickly went over who I am, what my role is, a quick overview of what Moodlerooms is, the company, and then how we truly provide a software as a service solution. This next slide here is just a graphical version of that. It truly shows in the center you have standard open source Moodle. As a Moodle core partner, we then have taken a series of tools and added them into the Moodle core product to make our Joule platform. Joule is our software and the platform that we build for you, where we truly take Moodle core, we add in necessary tools that you need to have in the system. We can connect third-party partners that you already work with, and then tools like our conduit tool, we can connect to other systems like your KMD. As you see here, there's a range of things that our platform can do. A digital repository like Alfresco, looking into social learning tools that are different capabilities, even going through assessment reporting. All of those are available too. We also have a series of administrative apps like the conduit tool. Our conduit tool that we'll be showing the demonstration today, basically an automated administrative processing tool where the major CAM system can export data in .csv or .xml format. We can help you connect the web services connection or CSV database data. Get those two systems talking to each other, making sure all their data is still the same and you don't have duplicates or necessary work to be done. Okay. Next slide here, just want to touch on something that was obviously a big shift in the marketplace that we're not shying away from, but definitely talking about and wanting to answer any questions about. March 26th, about 2 weeks ago, as I was talking to Phil and Todd, 2 or 3 hours before, Blackboard and Moodlerooms went into a partnership where Blackboard truly opened up what it was calling its true platform. In that partnership, they opened an entire open source services division to truly have multiple platforms that vendors can choose from and schools can choose from. Whether that platform of their choice is the Blackboard Learn product, whether it's Angel, as you guys are currently using today, or Sakai, or whether it's open source Moodle, where our Joule platform is the flagship of that entire product. Although the merger was a little bit of a shock to the industry in a different way, Blackboard, their full strategic shift, it has a lot of great positives as well. It can bring together a lot of current clients that are working in both Blackboard and may have wanted to research other systems, like you guys are doing today. It also opens up a lot of the Blackboard applications, like just Blackboard, now be more available to these other platforms. So for example, if your institution really loves Blackboard Collaborate, or previously loved Windows Illuminate, but you want it now in your Moodle system, you can now bring together those two systems and have them all working together. As Moodlerooms, we are still staying as a Moodle partner. We're still our own independent company. Still have our offices in Baltimore and still are running truly as our own engine within the Blackboard platform. Correct. We are acquired under Blackboard as an independent company. That'd be correct. So, truly, that was the PowerPoint. really want to keep the PowerPoint short and sweet. Talk about what we do as a company, a little bit about the Joule platform, which we're going to go highly into demoing throughout the rest of the time we have today. And of course, addressing the Blackboard merger as well. Take a pause here, see if there's any questions from the group online or any questions from anybody here before we really spend the true majority of the rest of the time demoing the actual product, showing you what we have instead of talking about it. Anybody here? Anybody online? Anybody online? All right. Give me 1 second here. Let me transition out of our PowerPoint, and then we'll go to the platform. Okay. Can everybody see my screen that I brought up, the web browser? All right, perfect. So the first thing I really want to focus on, the first two items that I want to focus on, are the two newest tools we're now offering our Joule platform. We're actually going to go from our main front page here, go directly into a course, and from the course, show you the two newest tools that we're now offering our platform. Then we'll go through some of the other tools. We'll then transition to showing you our conduit tool, and then I'll also be showing you what the student perspective looks like. At any point, if someone has a question or you feel like I've gone past something you want to know more information about, please ask, and I can address those. Steve, is your mic on as well?
It is.
Okay.
You able to hear me?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have a little bit of feedback from you, Steve, so would you mind just muting yourself, and then I'll definitely let you know when I need you? Okay, that sounds better. All right, I'll move
Thanks,
this.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
And don't turn your mic on and tell us all.
So very simply, just to orient everybody, this is the front page of the demonstration site that I'll be showing today. This is actually fully logged in already. So we're logged in. I'll start off logging as an administrative user. What we're actually seeing here, this is a theme that we've added to Moodle through our Express Design tool called the Top Slide theme. Top Slide theme allows for this little top slide bar that I just clicked on that allows you to go directly as either an administrator or as a user to your My Home section or your customized home page, allows you to go directly to your profile, or allows you to log in or log out. Your site administration team can also choose to allow student ID pictures in the system, and ID pictures would show right there. From this front page, the front page is truly the hub that all of your users will see when they first come into the system. This is truly where you can list out a series of announcements that you may have. You can also list out any media, so whether it's videos that you've uploaded from YouTube, any webcam recordings that you've created. I'll talk a little bit more about webcam when we get into the classroom here. It's also where you can lay out all of your courses. You as an administration can choose to list out all of the courses for the entire institution, or you can choose to have it modified on a student-by-student basis. When you modify it, as that student comes in, they only see their courses, but they can't see any other courses in the system. Truly, we give you that choice. Some schools just like to have all their courses shown on the main page. Really a true catalog, if you will. Yep. So these areas are fully configurable. You can move around the page. The page itself, as I scroll back to the top here, the page itself can be in a series of different formats. You can choose to have it be in a 2-column format, as I have right here, or you can even decide to transition it to be in a 1-layer format. In the 1-layer format, the content area is the one that's the main area, the main setting. And the page will expand and broaden as necessary. On the far right side of the page, this is where you have all of your administrative blocks, as we call them, your main settings panel, your main navigation panel. With these main blocks, you choose which ones appear on the page. Your administration team can choose to lock certain blocks and they appear on every single page, or you can give your users choice of which ones they want to see. With all of our blocks, you can minimize them to save space on the page. You can also use this really nice action icon here, where you can take any block that's on the page. You can still keep it live, but you can actually dock it, where when you click on the docking bar, that actual block itself moves over to our docking bar station. So it's still a live block. You can still access it. If I literally were to click on every single docked item, I can move everything over and we go into a 1-column format. A few nice things with the docking station. It's a nice little
aesthetic tool, if you will, wherein once you move something over to the docking station, they're locked, and that's their placement there on that page. So if I were to scroll down and say I want to view my courses, my settings bar, my settings block, and my navigation block stay with me. So it goes against the scroll of death, if you will. The other great thing is that they're not blocks that are deleted off this main front page. They're here, they're alive, and they're active, and they're reconfigurable so you can move them back and forth. So say I want to then reactivate this one, I can click here and bring it back to where it was, or I can even delete it off. Say I'm done with it, I don't need that block anymore, delete it off, and it's good to go. So click here on the dock, we'll put that back right there. From this main front page here, there's two really nice icons that make the life of administrators and instructors nice and easy. The first is the settings block. It was recently redone in Moodle 2 Core, and with the settings block, there used to be 4, 5, 6 different blocks that administrators, instructors would look to make settings on the main page or setting on a course page. They've taken the settings block and they've made a main section that shows settings on the page you're on. So this one shows front page settings. Then every single page, based on your role in the system, as an administrator, shows profile settings and then shows site administration settings. So no matter where you are, the settings block knows your position on the page and will help you make settings changes, but it can also help you make main overall site administration changes as well. Talking about roles, the system can be set up to have 16 different role types that you register your users in. Most commonly, you'll have an administrative role, or your IT team will work on. You'll have instructor roles, you'll have student roles, and you'll have guest roles. Within Moodle Core, you can set up a series of permissions based upon those roles. We set it up for you that they have default settings, for example, that a student can't delete a course. But you can go back in, you can go through, and you can edit every single permission on every single role. So if you want to elevate a teacher to a teacher assistant role and give them the ability to create their own courses, you can do so. Adversely, if you want to lock down your instructors, maybe you want your site admin team to be your course builders and you just hand them a shell, you can do that as well. We give you full access with the permission roles to change whatever you need to change. The next block that's really of importance is our navigation block. I'll move that one so it'll be easier to see. Move it off of the docking station. As you see, as I moved off the docking station, I now have no items in the docking station, and the docking station goes away. Site refreshes very quickly, works with you as you're making changes.
Does that dock stay in all of the layouts, or the variety of layouts? That dock is staying?
That dock is available in every single layout. That's correct. When it comes to the navigation block, very similar to settings, it's a block that's been redone in Moodle 2. There used to be many different places where navigation and many different ways to navigate through courses that seemed to be confusing or alienating to users as they were going through the system. With the new navigation block, every single user can click on home and be taken back to this front page. They can click on My Home, which we'll go into later in this demonstration, which is their customizable home. Gives them a little bit of configuration ability to make a page that's just for them. Maybe they choose the blocks they want, they click the courses they want to see. Then it can go through, once again based on your role, site pages, My Current Profile, and then of course your courses. The great thing, once again, it knows where you are, it knows we're on the front page, it's going to show us everything past this front page. For courses, you can have it set up where you can have course categories that it groups your courses within. You can click through those course categories, or you can directly click into that actual course you want to see, as we do here, and then it breaks down and shows you the specific topics or lessons within that course. So from anywhere this navigation panel is, you click on a course, drop that course down, and then go directly to a section of a course, or even to the even more granular, going to the specific activities and resources within that course section. All that is available to you. Very easy to navigate through, all in one place. Really an improvement on how Moodle 1.9 used to be. Any questions about the front page, some of the new looks and feels, some of the new changes in Moodle 2? These are really, the majority of all these are Moodle 2 changes. As we get further in, I'll really be focusing more on some of the improvements Moodlerooms has made. The UI, some of these new blocks are really great Moodle changes, and then we've added some things on top of that, more about on an administrative level. All right, no questions in here. Anybody in the outside world have any questions? I can see their chat if they pop up. You can, for those on the outside world or online, you can just chat questions, and we'll be able to see them here in the main room. All right, all good to go. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go from this navigation panel. We're going to go directly into a course. The reason I'm jumping right into a course is we find that the administration team, as well as your instructors, especially your students, the courses are where they're spending the majority of their time. It's truly day in, day out. They're either rebuilding a course, working within a course, or working truly within the administrative items within a course, like our gradebook that I'll be showing, for the majority of their time. So we'll click here into courses. We'll go into a course made by our instructional design team. Format to be like a math 203 course, maybe like a freshman entry-level math course. Okay, so the first thing to talk about is that our sites are set up that you can choose your theming. You can choose exactly how you want the site to be set up. Wherein as you go from the front page, as we just did, into a course, the basic layout looks the same. You know, here we still have a 2-column format with all our blocks and modules on the right, just like we had the main front page, and all of your content takes up the other 75% of the page. You can choose if you want, based on our theme design tool, to have different themes on a course-by-course level. So maybe certain instructors or schools of science, schools of math want to have different colors and logos. You can choose to be that granular, or you can choose to say, let's set up one theme for the entire school. Boom, that theme goes across all the way through. As I'll be stating over and over again, our sites are very configurable to make exactly what you need. You'll truly work with a configuration team, Steve being one of those members, and our support team to make your site as configured as you want it to be. One of the first things to recognize within this course here is that this course is in a format that Moodlerooms has created. Moodle previously just had a few options, one being a topics format, other being a weekly format. Both formats that you can still choose, but as we took a closer look, we saw that there's openings to have different new formats that might be more accessible for students as well as for instructors. This format here, that you can see, starts off with an introductory topic. That introductory topic is open any single time that someone comes into this course. And then below this introductory topic, there's the rest of the lessons for this course. All these additional lessons are all zipped into folders, and a student can choose to finish the main introductory topic section, then go into the next section called Linear Equalities, view items from this section, close that folder, and then go on to the next section. The idea from feedback we were hearing from the K-12 and the higher ed sector was sometimes there was too many pop-ups, too many widgets, different sites that students are going to. And then with the courses, they were facing the scroll of death and too much going on. With this folder view format, the UI, the user interface idea, was truly to make a course that a student can view a piece of, finish that piece, they can use our completion tracking and even check off work they've done within these courses, and then move on to the next part of the course. Really, so it's brings them right into the trenches, has them take care of their course material, and then move on to the next piece.
So you control the release, like where the folder going
So you can do conditional release based on the folders, or, as well as even more granular, you can do conditional release based on each activity. Both those are available. That's a great question. Yep, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well. The other great thing about the folder view format, and it'll take place as we turn editing on and go back into a little bit of the back end, is that previously working with Moodle, sometimes adding resources, adding activities, or making changes to your courses was a little bit clunky. You have to do in the specific topic you want to do it in. Sometimes it was a little bit confusing for instructors. What we've done is we've really taken all the editing icons, all the editing ability you would have within a course, and moved them all into the very top of the course itself, on top of the first lesson. Wherein from here you could add new topics, you could add entirely new blocks to the main course page, you can edit the layout, or you can even go through the topic settings and edit those specific topics. It truly makes it much more flexible, much more easy for our instructors and administrative staff. Also right here from the folder view format and its options, you can click here on Add a Resource. And this is where you would go through, review any resources you want to add, click on the Add To section here, and choose what specific topic you want that resource added to. Previously, you had to go into a topic, drill down, choose from a drop-down list that sometimes would scroll through different parts of the pages. We found this folder view format is we could take another look at this and say, okay, let's find a way we can show every single activity available to the instructor, every single assignment, and then every resource file or even additional plugins like Campus Pack directly right here within the main folder view format.
So they still go down into those folder views themselves to add resources, or they have to do it all?
They have to do it all from here. Now that's if you choose the folder view format. It's a standard part of the platform. On a course-by-course basis, you can choose out the folder view format, or they could use standard topics or standard weeks format. When it comes to the folder view format, adding content is all done through this main Add Resource section, where you literally could go through, choose the resource you want, go through the resource settings, and then you would directly add it to those specific topics. With the folder view format, as we've been talking about, the user interface has totally changed. You have this new ability to add resources and add topics, and this is one really new great way that you can add content within your actual site itself, within your courses. Another tool that we've added that works with the folder view format is a new drag and drop feature. So folder view format is one way you can add resources. With our drag and drop tool, you can really drag and drop any files from your desktop as resource items into a specific topic of your choice. Benefit, of course, is making it easier, more simplified for instructors to really have 1 and 2 clicks to add resource items into a course without having to go through multiple pages. How that would be done is you have editing on, as we have right now. You would go through and make sure that you have your drag and drop block initiated on this page. We would then minimize the page down and grab something. Let me see if I can make something work. I have to play with the GoToMeeting 1 second. Pause that. Let's bring on something over. Oh, it may have let me. Let's see if I can access this here. So for example, either on your desktop or on a removable disk drive, you can take an item, and that'd be any of the common file formats that Moodle will accept. So resource files, PDFs, PowerPoint files, Word document files. Once you have drag and drop turned on, you have the files you want to select. You really can grab a file. Oh, sorry. You're right. Thank you. So sorry, we just found that we had to bring up a different drive to pull in a file. You would have drag and drop turned on. You bring up your file section either from your desktop or your different computer network drive. Click on a file here. You drag it over. I'll do a little bit slowly. As you drag it over, the topic allows you to add a certain file. You drop that file. If it wasn't too large to upload, let's see if I can find a smaller file. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's see. Let's see if we can go back. Common collateral. Then we drag a file right in here. So the idea, once again, is you would have literally within 2 to 3 clicks, click on a file, you drag it over, drop it in, and within a few seconds, depending on the file size, you drop that file right here into the main course page. We'll let that file upload here for a second. Once the file is uploaded, you then have full access to that file as a Moodle resource file where you can edit it, change the name of the actual file itself, change the settings of that file, even move it to different parts of the actual course itself. Let's give this one a second. This is probably a larger file as well. If not, we can come back.
File size, is there limitations? What are those limitations? Are there configurable limitations?
There are, so speaking of file size, there are configurable limitations. From your site admin side, we give you direct SFTP access to your site, so you can bring over a series of files. On instructor and student level, each user can have a 500 megabyte limit, and then you can configure those all the way down to 25 megs per user, per instructor, whatever you choose.
So all the instructors' courses would be part of that popular mailing, or is there a course limit that's separate?
No, so there is a overall hosting size limit, so based on like the user count. So for like 2,000 users, 120 gigabyte limit. That's for every single person in the system. You can limit the file upload size on a per user by user basis on single file upload. So per single file upload, a teacher could put in a 500 megabyte file.
There's no course.
There's no course limitation. No. Yep. There's no course file limitation. There's no limitation on the actual courses you put into the system either. It looks like this file is lagging a little bit. It might be the size or it might be the connection we have today, so we can move on from there. The next piece I really want to touch upon is two new features that we've added to our system here. The first new feature is the ability to have a new webcam feature within your HTML editing tool. Brand new product launch that we're doing through Moodlerooms in partnership with Kaltura that'll be available in our Joule 2.4 release, basically over this later part of the summer. With the webcam tool, you basically can, let's say we go to add a new resource and we just want to add a new label resource, just a main text area, if you will. You click on label, and our site refreshes. We, of course, see our HTML editor tool. Anytime that an instructor is adding text into the system, anytime that a student is adding text into the system, the HTML editing tool comes up. The true main benefit of the webcam tool, and I'll be showing a quick demonstration in a few seconds here, is that for a student user or for an instructor user, everybody uses video these days. You have video for making instruction, video for lecture capturing, video for responses, and people are so used to using video these days, it's almost funny not to have it within your learning management system. With our video tool, you can have video for responses, either for forums through teachers and students. You can have video for feedback through our gradebook as well. You can even have video for journaling. You can set up a journal for your students and they can do video as well. Very simply, as we're doing this label here, you come over to HTML editor, we click on the actual webcam icon, which is next to Moodle Media, next to our image icon. We click on webcam. Takes a second for your webcam to just get set up. And then from here, as you can see, it's already picking up my webcam. We can then click anywhere to record, and we can start recording something right here now. Record an individual video. The video size you work through with Kaltura as your third-party partner, and the video files are actually saved through the Kaltura community. You can literally create your video, click stop at any point in time. You can then choose to record over that video, so maybe it was a bad test or a dummy. You can then click on save, and within save, that's where you can choose to rename your video, whatever you choose to rename it, provide a description to that video, or just truly save and embed that video.
I assume you can do audio only as well.
Yes, you can have audio only as well, or you can have video as your choice. Once we have record the video, we save it, we go through a little bit of titling, we can then save it and embed it right here into this label. Label is just one example. We can go through, and I've saved it now. I can go through save and return to course. And now right on the page here, once the site refreshes, we'll be able to see this video right on the main course page. So right here, right on the main page, I can use YouTube or any other file sharing software. Truly have the video we just created a few moments ago right here on our main course page. It has many different use cases that you can have for it. Like I was saying before, you can have it with assignments, you can have it for forums, you can have it with feedback as well. If you put students in peer groups, truly anywhere that you would have an assignment turned in, you can use the webcam functionality, the webcam tool. The next new tool that I'll be showing is actually based off of a whole new approach to the gradebook. Moodle's had a wonderful gradebook since its inception. Gradebook does its job of processing what grades are in the system, takes care of auto grading, but also allows you to go back in and do manual grading. Upon the Moodle Gradebook, we've also made our own few simple enhancements that I can detail if we want to, wherein we allow you to make more view changes, do direct action within that gradebook. But the newest tool that we've added to our settings panel is something called Dual Grader. Very simply, it's a way where you can view students' assignments in the moment, grade assignments, and provide comments to your students that go directly to the gradebook without having to go through multiple screens. To show you guys that, we go into Dual Grader right here. Once we're in Dual Grader recognizes I'm still the administrator, knows what part of the course I'm in control of, knows I'm at a level where I can grade upon student work. It can show me any activities that are requiring grading, so any activities that have not been graded by me before. I can also then choose to go into grade categories. So within our courses, you can choose grade categories. Either those assignments you want in separate areas, or those that you're manually grading or have a weighted score to. So let's say if we go to online text webcam example. Go down, we choose a specific student. Here we choose Brandy Gonzalez, where we have some stock assignments done through. And here we can see this is a video assignment that I tested here in the office with one of my coworkers making motion in the background to test our systems. This is an assignment that Brandy turned in. She was asked to do a video assignment, basically it was based off of a forum. I can go through, I can review her assignment, and this can show you any video files that she's added, audio files, images, any online text. It'll show you right here on the main screen. Any larger files, like if she uploaded an assignment as a Word file or a PDF, you could then directly click and download right from this main area. The idea is you can view the submission that Brandy provided. You can go in and provide a grade, and it'll recognize exactly what your grade range may have been. You can place a grade, maybe we'll give Brandy a 75%, and then you can add feedback commentary right here. Now when adding the feedback commentary, there's actually two really nice options with that, two really nice functionalities. One functionality is that we're obviously giving Brandy direct feedback as we're reading her assignment, then we're going on to the next person. Brandy, as the student user, if you will, can also see her own view of this Dual Grader, can see the grade that you provided her, will also see a similar window like this where she can continue the dialogue with you about comments you made about her assignment. We really can have a two-way feedback between teacher and student on their assignments in real time as they're being graded. We click Add here. It shows that on a certain date, an admin left a comment. It would then show the dialogue between Brandy, or if it was a group assignment where multiple students were in, it could show the dialogue between those groups as well. Once we're all done, we then click on Save and Next.
I'm thinking about it.
We have a question out there?
I mean, conversation over, see, we're now presenting a conversation over feedback would be one thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, though, the big thing I'm wondering here is you have a grade box and save and next. Is there a way to apply a rubric?
So you can have a rubric applied. I don't currently have it set up in the system correctly, but you can apply a rubric. The rubric can be, you can have rubrics separately applied in the main course page. You can grade upon that rubric. You can grade upon rubrics here, or you can grade upon rubrics in the gradebook as well. The other thing you can do with the commenting is, another way you can look at it is if you have students in the user group and they're grading upon each other, they can also place feedback and comment back and forth. Dual Grader is an option. It's a standard part of the platform. It doesn't meet your guys' needs. It's something you just don't add into the system or you hide away. You can also add it in specific courses on a course-by-course basis. So say you want to have a trial course that tries it out, or a trial group, you can do that as well. It does not. It has to have them do direct. At this time, we have to do direct download, something we're looking into. We've also heard a lot of feedback of having, once we have that ability, to also have direct inline grading, like inline red penning and commenting, and that's on our roadmap as well. I was actually at a presentation last week, and they asked that same exact question. Because so many teachers are used to doing that redlining and sending back. That's something we're looking into having, hopefully by the time our summer release, if not by our winter release. For both features. That's correct.
And writing more can upload. You have a sample where you submit a document that can be attached. Say you downloaded it and did all that, or can you reattach it?
You cannot well, I can show you what samples, but you cannot reattach something back up. We should have that. It's a good commentary. At this point,
I mean, I'm just thinking in what we can do in Angel right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's very basic.
Right.
They hate that. They hate doing that. Doing what we have. But look out here. No, I mean, the goal of this would be not to
So, I mean, and saying that you don't have that feature now, how would, if a submission was a text document, a Word document, something like that, how would that be then graded and returned in the system? I mean, you put grade into it. How would you return the student's work in the system?
you would just email it back to them. Unfortunately, more of a manual process, which is more laborious, of course, but it's not going to make it
the students too.
right. And they're getting in two different locations. Something definitely I can note. We'll take back. Definitely let the product guys know that they're definitely open to bigger and better ways we can make the product better. So I appreciate that for sure.
Can you do video feedback with the Calpro and stuff work here too?
The Terra stuff will work here too. You can, it wouldn't be actually done through this grader system. You could do it directly through the gradebook. So where you have gradebook feedback, you would open HTML.
So this is completely separate from the gradebook.
That's correct. It's a separate area, but obviously the grades feedback in.
Yeah.
So really the idea is that if you, for basic assignments, simple things, maybe simple forums, simple online text things, this is the place to go to. And more complex things, probably the gradebook is still your place of main location. All right. So I want to show you guys one more main activity, and then we'll pass things over to Steve to really talk about the conduit tool, because I know that's an important piece as well. But talking about our webcam functionalities, the new functionality we have, talking about the gradebook is really talking about assessments and how you view how things are going on within your courses. One of the tools that we have that we've had in our system for over a year now is our Joule reporting tool. Now I'll go back to the course here. Joule reports is something you can see off of the main settings panel of a course, so an administrator or instructor can see it at any point in time. With Joule reports, the idea is that in standard Moodle, you have a series of logs you can see that are time in, time out logs. We constantly were being asked by many of our higher ed clients or corporate clients, we want to see much more detailed reports on what's happening within our courses. We want it to be visual reports. We want it to be detailed table reports. Clicking in Joule reports, first thing we see is a dashboard section. With this dashboard section, it takes the most common 4 reports that I commonly pull based on the last 7 days of data and shows me data immediately as I go in the system. For an administrator, this is ideal because maybe you just want to quickly come in, see how some of your courses are doing, and pop out and go into something else. Instructors just follow the same pattern. From here, this is your main hub, if you will, to access the reports, where you can run through a series of report types, either from the dashboard like we have here, all the way down to more specific types of reports, where it's based on SCORM activities, quiz activities, or even just general outcomes within your courses. It can have you, it obviously centers on this main course here, but you can look at other courses you have in the system if you want to switch over to a different course. And then there's overall different main type of report templates. As you see here, there's course reports that go over basic course data. There's also something we've added called exception reports. Basically, those are reports that pull student data from those students that have not participated in your courses. Maybe someone who had those that haven't turned in assignments, those who haven't viewed pages in a long time. It goes towards the idea of, okay, we're pulling a lot of great data about what's happening, what's not happening, who's missing something, and these exception reports can pull that. The other great area in our reporting tool is an area we have called admin reports, wherein with admin reports, you can still choose to use the 30 different template reports we give you, or you can choose to run your own SQL table and run your own customized reports. We give you SQL references, we give you the ability to browse schemas. You can create your own reports, generate that said report, and then save it with a file save name of your choice.
What is the schema available, that they can do with here that we couldn't use in one of the built-in reports?
So you can be more detailed and drill down deeper into the timing of the report. You can drill down deeper into specific areas of the report. That is, if you have certain reports that you're used to pulling either in other systems or you want to drill down deeper from ours, you can pull that information.
I saw outcomes in there. So is this the dual fully support outcomes?
Fully supports learning outcomes as well as standards. We give you a series of templated ones, and then you can add more within the gradebook itself.
Can we add outcomes and statements to root?
Yes, you can. So within our rubrics, you can add outcomes to them because they're graded assignments, and you can have standards to them as well. That's fair.
Well, inside of an assessment, can you tie an individual standard into the question, or do you have to time it like the whole assessment?
You have to time for the whole assessment as well.
Because I'm still on huge stats.
Just double checking the chat. If anybody does have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I'll keep checking periodically to make sure we don't miss anybody. The other great thing to see from the reports, if we go back to the dashboard real quickly, say we actually jump into one of the reports. So let's look at some that's a little bit basic, but looking at just recent activity within the site. When looking at the recent activity report for this actual course itself, the first thing we see is the ability to filter this report. The report pulls the last filtering that I chose for this report itself based on the last 7 days, and I can choose to refilter this report or stick with the current filter that I already have. Filtering can be drilled down into there's categories, grading categories if you will, specific activities, or it can be kept more generalized. Let's say we pull this report back even to go into March to give us a lot of data. We can click here to generate a report. Report refreshes, and then we see reporting data, a table report if you will. The report can be categorized and formatted with specific headers. We can choose how many fields of data we see, whether it's 100 fields of data or less. From the report, you really have a few series of options and really true benefits. You can see a table report, or you can choose to go to a graphical report, just really showing you the raw data, how to perform in a graph. Within the table report, we'll let refresh here, you can see all reporting data. You can click to view this action, so view the location it came from, view what actually happened, anything that stands out within the report itself. Also, at any point in time, you can go down to the bottom of the report, and you can choose to export the report, either in .csv or .xls format, bring it back to your home spreadsheet tool, and make changes if necessary. One of the newest changes and really great benefits we've added to our reporting tool is that you can also message directly from our reporting tool. So if we say you're looking at student activity, student requests within a form itself, you can view the student data, check a series of students that relate to this report, go down to our action bar down here, and directly choose to send a message to those specific students about their work or about the action they've created within this report. So one use case there, say you have that exception report, you see that 5 students haven't even looked at the quiz that was offered 2 weeks ago that may even be pass grading. You can pull up that report, click on those users, click on send a message to students, and then on the top of the report here, it allows you to have a full area where you can send a direct message to those students. It gets sent to them as a BCC email, so they don't see that's going to other students. You can see the student, see the email address that it's going to. You can even choose to remove users. If you decide you don't want to send something to a student, really click on sample. You can click to send an email, sample dummy text, whatever it might be. Click send message, and that'll let you know that the message has been sent directly from the reporting tool. Working off the reporting tool, like I said, we have 30 different templated reports. You can choose to go into the admin report and pull your own queries. If there's customized reports, you can work with our customization department to provide custom reports directly for your needs that we can add individual reports for you. There's a series of options to pull any data out of the MySQL database directly into reports that are easy to view, easy to chop up and see directly. All right, so we're going to take a pause here. A lot of everything we were just showing was the administrative features for your administrators or instructors. We're going to take a pause here before we go more into what a student may see and what they'll be seeing within the course. We're going to shift over to more of the IT side to show how your current CAMS ERP system can be connected to our Conduit tool. Where Steve, our configuration specialist, so I'll throw things over to in a second. We'll do a quick walkthrough of the Conduit tool and then take any questions you guys may have about that. Then we'll finish things up. We'll show you what a student sees within the system, some of their tools, and how they can use the webcam tool as well. And then I'll open up to some more questions also. Steve, can we take you off a mic to have you do a little bit of the Conduit tool for us? Make sure you're still there. Steve, are you still there with us? Can't hear you yet, Steve. Try another mic check.
Can you guys hear me now?
Now I can hear you. All right, Steve, let me change the presenting over to you. Would it be easier if you took over my screen, or would you have a screen pulled up of your own already?
I already have a screen of my own pulled up, so
that'd be great.
If you don't mind, I'll share that.
Sure. Just 1 second, guys. We'll switch over to Steve. All right, Steve, we can now see your screen. Let me just maximize it. Okay, you're good to go.
All right. So I'm going to scroll down here. Conduit exists as an actual tool or a plugin in the system that you can view via a block over here to the right-hand side. So the Conduit tool acts as a processor of information from outside systems into the environment. You can also use it as a standalone system to process CSV and XML files without an outside system as well. So really the purpose of Conduit was to build a tool that could easily integrate with multiple systems in a seamless fashion. So I'm just going to show you some of the functionality that we can see there from within the settings section. So currently the Conduit system can act in 3 different ways. So it can act as an internal system where you upload CSV files and XML files. It can also process data that you deliver to an SFTP directory location that we can provide you. And it really controls those different activities inside the system. So when you want to add a user to the system, there's a separate file for that. Creating courses in the system, it actually has capability to create courses and pull, as a part of a large process sheet that you pass into the system, it can actually pull a copy of a template course and apply those settings that are in the template course, everything from the blocks that are in that course, the content that you've built out in the course, as well as the settings that you've set into the course, into those new shells that are being created. And you can do that in multiple formats. So if you have multiple master courses or multiple template courses is what we actually refer to them as, you can specify which course pulls what template, all from a spreadsheet or an XML file. It also supports web services. I know the CAMS environment does have some web services capabilities. I don't know if you guys have yours set up to that. But you also have the capability to communicate directly with Conduit and pull information out of Conduit and the Moodle system via RESTful web services. Everything from pulling user data, enrollment data, grade data, in and out of the system directly through that Conduit web services integration. The nice thing about the system is we've set up the mappings in the system. So if I come here to the mappings settings, we can actually map the Moodle database to any field of an external system. So for instance, if the CAM system passes username rather as user, we can set up the mappings of that so that it can directly take the files that come out of your CAM system as an export or through web services and directly tie those to the Moodle system. Conduit really acts as that, exactly what it's called, conduit between the Moodle system and your external system. It can control any of the user profile fields that exist, so we can map for any of those. We can set default values for those. So some of the functionality that exists at the user profile level, we can choose the default values for there. We also have capability to choose whether the user can make modifications to that after they're created, or whether we want that to be controlled from the external system going forward. You also have the capability to add your own custom fields. So if there are fields in CAMs that aren't in Moodle by default, we can create custom profile fields for you, show you how to do that, and it will actually come across in Conduit. As you can see here, I have one custom field for site information. So if you had multiple school sites, you could actually type in that information for that specific student. Once you map your settings, at any point you can download a copy of the CSV mapping file or the XML file. So if you wanted to do it more in a single process, not using your external CAM system, you could pull those down and fill out those forms either in a CSV and XML format and upload those back up. As well as you can integrate it with the CAM system so that it can just pull that information directly either via SFTP or web services. You'll also see there's a separate file that we can map for all this different settings of the courses we create, enrollments into courses. There's functionality around role assignments. Really what that's meant for is you can use that to enroll users in a course similar to the enroll file, but there also are different contexts that you can enroll users, give roles to users in the system. So everything from giving them role assignments in the course level to actually giving them role assignments at a user level. So we have in the Moodle system something that's called the Mentee block, which allows you to assign one user to another user for them to be able to log into that user's account from their own personal account and see things like their activity report, their forum post, their profile information, their grades, without having to actually have them enroll as that user's account that they're looking at. And then we have the ability to create groups within courses. So you can have groups of users that can work on content together, view content together, see each other in the course. You can also set separate groups, so you can create multiple groups in the course that can't see each other. They're pretty much blocked off from each other from view. And then the group members is actually enrolling the group users into those groups that exist within the course level. We put a lot of reporting around the Conduit system where you can look at the different transactions that are occurring in the site. So it shows you things like when we make manual edits to the Conduit database that then goes back and updates the Moodle record, when the cron is run when we've run a course event, and we look at those transactional logs and actually see what occurred when we pass those transactions in. So here we created a course with a short name, test MR. Just gives you really generic information here, but there is more detailed information that comes from the system as you get more and more complex with your transactions. And as in the other areas of the system with reports, we always have a filtering capability for you to filter by specific fields, and then the ability to download in multiple formats. We can also look at, from the Conduit system, you can pull out grade data information from the system, either at a course level, an individual module level. So course level is going to bring you out your course level grades, so your overall course grades. Module is going to actually bring out the individual activity grades for each course, and you can see we can filter here. We can also pull out at a category level from the gradebook as well as manual entries. And we get the same filters, same capability to scroll down here and export those out in the various formats. Once you actually set up the Conduit system, so I talked a lot about how you can import CSV files and XML files and web services requests from your CAM system and doing it manually as well. But you can also have the capability to come and look at your database at any point and see which courses you've created through Conduit. You can make edits to them directly here within the interface, delete those courses directly within an interface. This comes in real handy when you only want to manipulate one record at a time or a few records at a time versus having to push out an export or anything like that. And you can see you can do that for all the different records, so I can look at my users as well. I can see the different users that I've created in the system. I also get the capability that if I want to create a new record, so if I wanted to come in and create a new user in the system, I can come in and do that, fill out the profile fields I have mapped, and that'll create a user in the system for me. And the final tab here is just to upload. That's where you can come in and manually upload your CSV and enrollment files. And when you upload those, your CSV or XML files, and when you upload those directly via this tab or via web services, it's a real-time integration. So as you pass that in, it's going to be processed immediately, and those users, courses, enrollments, etc., are going to exist in the system almost simultaneously. Just requires the time to process, which is usually a matter of seconds. Versus the SFTP, the way that we have that set up is that it runs on cron cycles. So cron being that process that runs in the back end, runs every 30 minutes. So it'll go out to your SFTP site and check for those files to exist on the site and process them every 30 minutes. So that's a little bit about the Conduit system in a nutshell. I definitely want to make sure I give time for questions.
Yep.
Please let me know.
Thank you very much, Steve. Do we have any questions about the Conduit tool, how you guys would connect up your current CAMS ERP system? Wayne, Todd said that you might be the guy with questions about Conduit. If there are any questions, you can turn on your mic or you can ask through chat if you're there still. We'll give Wayne a second here. Wayne is still here. Wayne, any questions you have about the Conduit tool, the mappings, or the different things that Steve was able to show?
I remember last time we saw it years ago, we were pretty impressed with it and what it can do. It's cool that it can fold in different things too.
It couldn't do that before in this thing we added in the Joule 2 version. Let's see. So Wayne said, nothing right now. Not sure about the web services and CAMs. Have not used them yet.
Yeah, and the few clients that we've had, Wayne, that's been pretty much the case. The web services is relatively a new feature into the CAMS environment, so a lot of them either haven't set that up or utilized it. But we do have a lot of good documentation, and Matt, we might want to provide him with that Conduit documentation so they can always take a look at that from a technical perspective.
Yep, that's perfect. That's a great segue, Steve, to what next I was going to say is that, as you guys may have heard last year, the Conduit still is something that we built in Moodlerooms. We fully support, we fully update it. And we have a series of our configuration consultants like Steve and some of our sales engineers who know the Conduit tool in and out, front and back. We also have full online manuals for our Conduit tool. And when you work with our configuration team, see, I may pass it back to you in a second, our configuration team will we'll have a full session with you about the Conduit tool and can even enroll you, and you'll also be enrolled in a Conduit course. Steve, if I can flip it back to you 1 second, putting on your configuration consultant hat, if you just give a quick briefing of how you help as a configuration consultant to help them connect Conduit to their CAM service. I think that'll give a bigger picture as well.
Yeah, so we really generally break it down into a two-part 1-hour session. So or 2 1-hour sessions. Really, the first time we're really going to walk through, we're going to hopefully look at a copy of your export file out of the CAM system, really set up your mappings and settings to process that file and do some testing around it. And then once we've had a chance to do some testing, look at the reporting functionalities, see that those are coming in seamlessly. Really then on the second session, what we're going to focus on is automating that process as much as possible. So determining whether web services is possible, if not, how we can deliver that to an SFTP site that we provide you so that, again, CAMS is pushing that out to the SFTP site in an automated process. Then the Conduit system is going to picking those up every 30 minutes and processing them inside your system. So we're really going to focus first at settings and then settings and testing and then the automation piece. And Matt, just so you know, there are some utilities out there that directly integrate the CAM system with the Moodle database as well. I know that there's plugins for that as well.
Very
for
good.
the passing back of information.
Very good. Okay. Before we switch back, we'll do the last end of the demonstration here, looking at the student experience. Any other questions about the Conduit tool, or any other questions that have come up to this point, as we're a mini break point, that we can field answers on?
We really don't use, I mean, we run a cron job every 12 hours for course creation,
Mhm.
exams, next with Angel, and then students are enrolled basically every hour into those courses. Doing two processes from CAMS to Angel. The only processes we get back from Angel to CAMS would be final grade, doing individual grades, and final grades and attendance. That's it. So we don't have any, I mean, we don't, the more features we could have, I'm sure we'd like.
Right.
Is there an attendance module in Moodle? No.
There is an attendance module as a resource with the Moodle,
Yeah.
so you can do.
Can we pull that data?
Yes, you can.
Cool.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think our integration would be very tough.
Yeah, it would be one of those things where you could definitely port over what you have today, and then over time you could see if you want it to be faster or go more detailed throughout the entire system.
Yeah, we're also happy if you can get a CAMS representative on the phone to have a three-way call to talk about the possibilities of web services. I know Wayne was asking if that it's set up for portals, if that's the same system. Yes, and it runs off a very similar setup as that, Wayne. So if you have that capability in your system, it's just a matter of configuring it to match up with what it's passing out in those portal values. I imagine from a portal perspective, you're talking more about single sign-on, but if it has the capability to do that, it has the capability to do other things, most likely.
Yeah, I know Adam, our ex-programmer, was utilizing one or two of the web services to pull over for the single sign-on, so I know they were working with them.
Perfect.
There's some APIs that we know.
Yep, of course. All right. Steve, I'm going to take the presentation back. Thank you for showing off that Conduit piece. And then we'll come back and we'll go into a little bit of the student user experience.
Absolutely.
Switch back over to me.
I'm going to switch back on mute.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Show my screen. Let's double check that. Yep. So my screen is now showing. So I want to quickly do is just, a lot of times in these demonstrations, you guys have seen a few of these, a lot of times you see the administrative features, what the instructor sees, but we always sometimes forget about the students. Just want to do a quick run through of some of the quick features we've added for students, and also seeing what a course will look like for them as well. So we'll log out from being an administrator. We can log out right from the drag and drop top sidebar. We'll let the system refresh here. We'll click continue. We're showing the front page now as a logged out user, so it's just a public front page. Click on login, and I'll log in. I should be logging in as Brandy Gonzalez, the student I was showing previously. We'll log in here. So the student experience, we've tried to keep the user interface very similar to what an administrator or instructor would see, but obviously with a lot of things turned off that they wouldn't need to have access to. So the settings panel is something they need to get access to. Going to some of those detailed activities like the Conduit tool, those all aren't there. But you can keep the same theming design, you can keep the same basic activities that you utilize, and then we even turn on some more user functionality for the student user. First thing to see is, we still have the top slide bar. With the top slide bar, it initiates Brandy's name as first name logged into the system. Somewhere it gives an identity. She knows this is her page, her courses that she'll be going through. Show a picture, like we said before, the student IDs. And right from this main section here, we can go through and look through more of the front page, or we can go directly to the My Home section. My Home section is a Moodle 2 feature based off of what My Moodle used to be Moodle 1.9. And in My Home, your administrative team sets up basic core area that the students can come back to see their activity stream, as well as to see a generic course overview. From there, most institutions will then let the students take this one page here, and they can add whatever blocks they want on this page. They can choose to have other administrative features on this page, really making it their customized section. Some quick things to note here within this My Home section is the first thing here is the course overview. This pulls from every single course that this student user, Brandy if you will, is enrolled in, and it shows all upcoming assignments, a small description of that assignment depending on what the instructor led, the instructor listed, the due date, and whether she submitted it or where it is within the submission process. So if nothing else, the student isn't going to go through all their courses. Maybe they're very quickly just checking before they head out to a live class or heading home for the weekend. They can come here and say, okay, what things do I have to do? How much time do I have? From here, the student user can also choose to click directly into that assignment. So maybe they realize they have an hour before the assignment's due, something that fell off their radar. They can click and go directly to that assignment. Course overview, the My Home section, those are Moodle features. A really great new tool that we've added in Moodlerooms, something we call streams and alerts. Two tools that really work together. The first tool is the activity stream. And the activity stream is very similar to Twitter, very similar to like feedback in Facebook, where it lets the student user know everything that's happening within their courses. It's a large digest of every single piece that's happening, whether it's commentaries from other students from their user group, new items that have been added to courses, even course changes. The activity stream shows them all of that. They get the stream. It shows the most recent 10 streams or activities that have happened, and they can click on more and see everything that's ever happened within their courses. Pulls from all their courses, pulls within our 2-second refresh rate. So if we're sitting here and there's a change, the page will refresh. And within the stream, like I said, they see everything. The matching tool to the stream is what's we call our alerting tool. The alerting tool is kept on the top right of every single page, has this little alert exclamation point and a badge counter on it. The idea behind the alert section is that instructors or fellow peers as users can place priority notices on specific activities or changes that are made to courses. With those priority notices, anywhere within the site that the user is in, they don't have to necessarily be in My Home. They can be in any of their courses or filling out an assignment. They'll see this badge and they'll see their ticker populate. When we click here on alerts, it only shows priority items. It shows priority items where the student can read the item, they can read remove, they can go through directly read, either read in more detail what this alert may be, or they can directly visit this alert right here from the system.
What's exactly the tag of priority items?
Any changes that they make within the system. With messaging, you can have different levels of priority. With assignments, you can have different levels of priority. But any changes that are made within the system can be those priority items. Once something is removed, we can remove a series of items, and of course, the badge checker will update. Something quick and simple. I mean, something too crazy and flowed out, but it's a nice way for the student to always feel like they're in touch. They know what's going on within their online learning. A lot of times, these were buried into courses in years past.
It's just everything.
It shows everything. Okay. Yeah. What you can do is with the activity stream, you can put the activity stream just in a course as a course block, and then it only shows what's happening in that course. So in a different place, you can have it be more integrated. Last thing we want to show is we'll actually go into a course here. So we'll go back into navigation. We can look into courses, and this now only shows courses that Brandy is enrolled in. We can go into the Math 203 course. And the idea here is there's no editing ability for Brandy. She's seeing the course very similar to how we saw as instructor administrator when we first started this demonstration. But this is what the course looks like to her. She can go through, view a series of items. Certain items that have completion tracking on them, she can click the little checkbox, and it'll show her that she's completed the assignment. She can go through, and as we left our webcam here as a label, she can click on play and play us. And we can start recording something right here now. Play the recording, if you will, without drowning out everybody's speakers. It's also where she can turn in any of the assignments that she may have. The other thing that is shown to her is that in her settings panel that's left over here on the far left side of the dock, and we'll move over, the user also has a settings panel. Their settings panel isn't obviously like a site administrator will have. It has no editing capabilities, but it does let the user see some things. First of all, they can choose to unenroll from a course. This is something you can take off because we have had students, incorrectly unenroll themselves. But you can choose that they can have an unenroll function if they want, mostly for drop add courses or pass fail courses. Also makes it easier for teachers. If the student doesn't like it, they can just unenroll. Kidding aside. But the next thing you can remove, of course, it's an optional feature. It's not the worst thing in the world. The student user can go into grades, and they can see their user report off of the gradebook. So where it only shows their grades on a grade-by-grade level that have been completed by the instructor. So they can view all of their grades. They can take this grade report here, and they can either export it or print it directly right here from the gradebook itself. Also within the course, this user can go into Dual Grader, the grading tool we were talking about before, and they can see what feedback their instructors have left them about certain areas. So say we go back to, I think it was the webcam sample we had that we looked at before. As you saw, going a little bit backwards, previously we were here as an instructor. We view Brandy's video. Now Brandy can come back. She can look at her own sample once again. The file's still there. Or she can view the commentary that I've left as an instructor, and she can put something, thanks for the feedback, or other commentary if she wants. Once she adds her feedback, it keeps that digest, keeps a trail of the feedback from top to bottom for users to see. Lastly, the last thing that Brandy can also see as a student user is that she also has a minor reporting section where she can go into our learner view reports, and she can pull off template reports that we have within the system. So this shows where, how often she's been in the system is where this one report shows. She can run a series of reports just about her activity within the course in these different reporting tools, giving her a little bit more access to the site as well. Really today what we've been going through showing you is really showing how our sites are truly reconfigurable. There's a lot of tools you can access, a lot of enhancements. And whether you're an administrator, an instructor, or a student user, you'll be working from the front page into a course page and really having a very flexible, easy to use online classroom. I want to take a pause open for any questions. If there's no questions, that'll be the end of our demonstration here. If any questions out in the group, feel free to chat them out. Any questions in here, feel free. These can be overall questions, company questions, questions about anything shown in the demonstration. Yep, everything is still holding true. I still have my desk in my office. Everything is the promise is still being kept promised to us. We really feel like it'd be a great expanding relationship where we really can look into some of the products that we have, a lot of the applications and resources they have, and really utilize them for all of our clients. Of course. Yeah. We understand.
Right.
And we've seen things definitely happen in the past, and I definitely can't predict the future. But what my management team has allowed me to say and talk about is, everything is business as usual. We truly haven't been sucked into the Blackboard Learn product, or we're not a product that they're planning on sunsetting. We're truly a standalone open source division. Any contracts that we make will keep exactly what we keep in that contract. We really see it as a good way to expand Moodle to a lot more users and to, work on the strategy that Blackboard has, saying you can have a lot of the great Blackboard resources, but here are the different tools you can choose from, Moodle being one of them. If for those that are watching the recording, if you have any questions, you can please feel free to forward them through Todd or Phil, and they can get them over to me or to our sales engineer team. Obviously, we have some questions.
I wouldn't mind seeing the instructor review, just adding saying assessment.
Definitely. So let's see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just want to scroll through, did you,
Different options and settings we have.
you don't have to kill it, I just want to see
No, take me a second. We'll go back into a course. I was going to bring lunch, but it didn't fit in my suitcase, so sorry. Shipping it from Baltimore would have been hard too. We have some great lunch places, but getting it over here. Someone asked from the group if we can go back into a course and from instructor just add a resource or activity and see some of those settings that we have available to us. So we go back into a course. Turn anything on. That's a newer feature. That's part of the. You only get 5 of those.
That's totally left.
You only get 5 of those. You're up to 4, so you got 1 left. Just kidding. Kidding. So we click on Add a Resource. So let's say we want to add something as simple as a forum. Click on Forum. Let's say we want to put it here so we can change that if we want to. With adding any of the activities, there's a series of basics once the site gets me there. First basic is every single activity needs to have a title to it. So you give it a name so it's associated in the system. Most, I wouldn't say all, but most of them you have a description. So when the user clicks on it, they go from there. With forums, you have a original option where you can choose different types of forums you want to create. Or it's basic simple forums, maybe Q&A forums. You can choose from a series. You then can choose from how the form looks in the system, as well as how the form is received by students. So one option you can do based on subscription. So based on the student's email address, they can email a daily digest, or every single time a new post is made. They're really kept in the forum through their email as well as through the actual Moodle system. You also have the availability to do thresholds for posting of the forums. So say you have some students that are taking too much charge in a class, the leaders of the wolf pack, you can close them down, say only 5 posts per forum. Or you can even go on a different angle and say every single user has to post at least 2, at least 3, whatever it is. So you can really control the participation that's seen within the forum. You can choose then to do placing in a category, a step in the gradebook, that we talked about before. With our forums, you can also have ratings for the forums, whether it's specific aggregate type of ratings or based on specific scales. And then you can also go through with a series of advanced tools like restricting access, activity completion, and then also conditional release. So every single activity within the system can have activity completion and conditional release tied to it. Whether it's done as a main topic or done as assignment by assignment, you set the conditional release either 1 by 1, or as we stated before, you can use our personalized learning designer to do it more of an automated mentality. Forum is just one version. We also have a quizzing tool. So with our quizzing tool, once I finish up this forum, with our quizzing tool, we actually look, it's actually a 2-part process. So within our system, in the actual settings panel, you actually have a question bank, which is your repository of any single question you ever want to add for a quiz for this course, which those can be imported or exported. Once you create a quiz, you then go into that question bank and drop those questions into specific courses. Then within the quiz, you have a series of options about shuffling questions, when quizzes are opened or closed, even password protection for quizzes. Teachers can create as much quizzes as they want. They could do conditional release, or they could do it where it's password open or closed. So say they want the students, every single student gets to start at 10 with the password they have, and the quiz closes at 11, you can do that with our quizzing tool. Ranges of other options you can choose from. There's an attendance activity, certificate tool for continuing education credits, even professional development within the institution. With our assignments, you have a series of assignments you can choose from, whether it's single files, multiple files. You can do online text, or you can connect to e-portfolios to the system as well. Connect through Mahara, the e-portfolio that we've attached to our system. When it comes to resources, you can go through and you can add single resources or a folder of resources. This is really where the drag and drop feature comes in. You can choose one file or multiple files. You can drop in IMS content packages. So the IMS saved content packages you guys have today, you can add in. You can go in and you can have the page resources, where really you could take any current HTML code you have and drop those right in and create a full page of HTML items. Or you can just link to separate URLs. You want to link them out to other resources through the campus website or others. These are just a few series of options depending on the plugin tools you attach in, like Turnitin, for example. There's a series of others you can have within our system. We have over 150 plugins through Moodlerooms, and then depending on with Blackboard, we also have Blackboard applications we can add into your system as well. Does that answer your question about assessments and seeing some of the back end? Yeah, no problem. Any other things you guys want to see, any other questions you have? You got one question left about Blackboard, anything else holding back? Good this time. All right, any other questions out in the group? Hey, Wayne or anybody else? All right, so wrapping this up, Moodlerooms wants to thank the institution for letting us present once and then letting us come back again. We really appreciate your patience with scheduling. We know that scheduling can be a hassle sometimes, so appreciate you letting us come back. Appreciate letting us record as well. We truly are, appreciate being considered as you guys look to switch into another LMS, and really hope that we're the one you choose to really have an affordable, scalable, and configurable solution, as I say at the end of every single presentation. Please feel free to let us know if you have any questions, like I said, and otherwise we'll be in touch for sure.
So good. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Perfect.